Hi everyone, how are you? This is going to be a good video. It's going to be a simple one. If you're inexperienced, if you already have a blog or if you already have a website, this is too advanced. You already got it, okay? But this is a basic. This is going to be a basic video. I'm going to explain what is hosting. Again, if you know it's super basic. Don't even watch, right? But many people really don't know what it is, and actually, people who don't have a website, they have never really needed to know what's hosting, and it's really common not to know what it is. So in this video I'm just going to basically explain what is hosting and why you need it. It's actually going to be simple. So when you get when you get your website, it's like mywebsite.com, right? That's your URL. But every website, when you go to that URL, there actually has to be a computer that knows, hey, I need to give this web page. I need to show this website, right? And that computer has some software on it that understands like how to function on the web and things like that. And that's a hosting computer, right? That's where you host your files, your website's files, website's images, your website's like database. And so there's a computer on it, right? And it's not just any computer, it's a computer that has like pretty sophisticated monitoring systems and pretty sophisticated software. So usually it wouldn't be something like a computer you have in your house. It would usually be somewhere that is, usually the way it works is it's like in a place where there are many such computers, and each computer can host one or more websites. If you have a tiny website, one computer can be a host for many websites. But if you have a big website, you probably have like one big hosting computer and hosting your big website. You can actually have multiple computers if you have a big site hosting your website. But the whole idea is that these are the computers that they are the ones who display the page. Without that hosting computer, no web page could be displayed. And so behind the scenes, that's what they do. And usually they are managed by hosting companies who specialize in like monitoring all the software and making sure that the response is fast, things like that. You don't want to be doing something like that at home because it's not your business. Hosting is not your business, right? You want to be focusing on your business. And usually what these guys do is they're able to provide this hosting extremely cheaply. Like Bluehost is one of the very popular like WordPress hosting sites. I don't know if it's the biggest, but it's one of the biggest. And it's like the basic plan is like something like $5 a month, right? And for a really amazing service, tech support, no hassle hosting, things like that. So people have really figured out on the web. People have really throughout the years, people have really figured out that part. And these hosting companies are able to provide a great service for unbelievable, like almost free, $5 or $10 a month, something like that. And actually, if you have a basic site, like a small business or a blog, pretty much you will just need that basic plan. Even with I'll tell you that with a somewhat complicated site that I've made over time, various different kind of sites, I still, for most of them, was able to get away with just the basic hosting. And you won't have to worry about really complex, those more expensive plans until you get like thousands and thousands of people a day, right? So a day, right? So you really have to become big to start worrying about the next level plans, which really means that you really just can stick to the basic plan for a very long time. So it's cheap, and it's really done for you. You just kind of apply, you make an account in these hosting companies, and I'll have a link to it in the description of the video. Just make an account, and you kind of set to go. The only thing you have to do is really just to configure that your URL that you bought is hosted by this hosting company. And you can buy the URL at one company, and you can buy the hosting in a different company. In fact, that's what most people do. Like the biggest, probably I think the largest company who sells domain names is GoDaddy.com, which they have themselves a really funny name, but they're the biggest. But most people don't host with GoDaddy.com. They host with other hosting companies. Although you can host with the GoDaddy.com as well, but just most people don't do it that way. I didn't do it that way. You know, just because there's other better options. And so you need the domain name, you need the host, and once you have that, you can install various software on your hosting computer so that your site gets more and more complex, but it's all managed for you. I mean, it's like really with a click of a button almost. It's really that simple because all that stuff has been figured out, and guess what? Like, there's millions of websites on the web, they all need hosting. So where you are lucky if you're starting a website is that every person who's come before you, they've had to go through this process, and so this process has been made like really simple and commoditized. So there should really be minimal problems and difficulties. So that's hosting, that's why it's important, and that's why, I mean, pretty much everybody needs it. I need it, I have it, like I bought it. Very likely you will need it. There's a case where you don't need it. If you have a blog and it's very basic, you know, like, you know, sometimes you see a URL and it's like mycompany.com. If you want to have that, you need your own hosting. But sometimes, do you remember ever seeing on the web sometimes XYZ at WordPress.com? You can actually host with WordPress or with other, but then your URL becomes like really ugly and like, what the heck is that, right? So it's unprofessional. So if your needs are so basic that you can get away with being a professional, you don't even need to pay for hosting. But if you do need to pay for hosting, it's like $5 a month. So it's really, really cheap. And then you have a nice domain like mybusiness.com. So that's pretty much it. That's what is hosting. That's what it is. That's how you need, why you need it. That's kind of how you set it up and get it. I recommend Bluehost. I also recommend eApps. Actually, I've used eApps. They've been really good. Their support is good. Bluehost support is also very good. What these companies they really excel at is great support, because when your site is down, like right, it's a disaster. Oh my God, what's gonna happen? So their support is always really good. So Bluehost is great. eApps is good, and I'll have links to it in the description of the video. So if this was helpful, if you'd like to get more business help and advice and different kind of advice, subscribe to my channel, and of course check out my mobile apps, which are, you know, they're some of the top business apps. They help you with business ideas, business planning, marketing, and fundraising, and just general different things. And they're really helpful. And they're available on iOS, Android, Kindle, and the Nook. And you can go to Problemio.com, and you know there will be links that point you to all of these. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video.